And Ron, we're back with another question from a member. This question comes from across from New Zealand. Over the past 2, 3 years, I've monitored what is happening with the local banks where I live in Auckland. My question is, how will the financial service centers services differ with those of CAC, PHP, I'm sorry, PHF, grants, loans, etc.?
It's a good question and one that has reason to be explained out. The banks provide a service. We don't like the banks and the way that they have destroyed our society, central bank especially. There's steps to go into the BRICS nations are doing their change, and a lot of other countries are 20 or so that are wanting to get back to get in there and be accepted into their that banking system. But let's just remember that it's a banking system, and they have their own CIPS cross border uh, international payment system. I think that's what it is, CIPS. It's a transfer system within the banks that are associated with the BRICS nations. That means that there will be computerized, and they can transfer one bank to another through the CIPS instead of the SWIFT system, which is just a central banking system, which was designed to interrupt the flow of the funds and get them into trading bank trading accounts so that they can make the billions of dollars in a night that they do. That's just the way they've been doing it for years. Well, quantum consciousness went in and they, without letting them know, they send the money to the account, to the bank account that it's supposed to go to immediately, bypassing all of the trading accounts in the central banking system. That's what the SWIFT system was designed for, to serve the banks. Now, the reason for the SWIFT system is because all of the different banks were on different computer systems. They couldn't interact, so they created the SWIFT system to interact, but they also left it open so that they could put put the money that was supposed to be transferred in their own bank trading accounts. They don't take the money out; they just ping the trading system just pings the account, and then it starts out at 20 billion and goes up to 100 billion, actually 96 billion, and then they sell it to an insurance company for $4 billion, and they have a thousand or 100 billion in assets. That's the way it is. Well, all of that has changed. 86% of their profits were in that bank trading system. That's why the banks are going bankrupt. They do not have the income to support this gluttonous amount of money for overhead. And they were able to pay it without any trouble at all before, but they can't now. That's why the banks are failing. Now the BRICS countries are creating something that's an alternative to that, and the dollar is going down the hill, and whatever they've got, each different country will have their own currencies, but they'll have their own banking system. But the reason that they have a banking system is because there needs to be something for people to transfer money back and forth. They need to have the ability to do that. When the banks are going bankrupt, the white hats go in and they find the people who are the ones causing all the problems. 2 or 3 years ago, I wrote called something about the game, um, and it was true. And they found out the people who were in the banks, the bankers that were criminals, They caught him in the act. And there was a lot of those people that were arrested and taken out of their positions and dealt with military tribunals. Okay, the services of a bank, everybody needs that service. That's why the financial service centers were created. Now, as the white hats come down through the upper management into the middle management, they're finding people who they can trust, who are not criminals, and they're training them to be part of the financial service center industry, financial service industry. And each of the different banks and their and their branches will be called financial service centers. So I, as a person, go into the financial service center and I want to buy a car. So I'm going to ask them if I can, I would like to borrow so much money for a car. And then you fill out the application and they say yes or no. That's the service that the financial service centers will give. Okay, now you take loved one society. Well, a lot of people would go to the banks and try and get a mortgage to buy a house. We have the private home funding that we're going to do on an individual basis. A beneficiary has in their back office a button that they can push to buy or sell their home. Now, how are we going to work that out? I'm not sure yet. Do we buy the listing service or would you develop a service of our own? I don't know which is the best way to go. We'll explore the best ways to do that. But we are the ones with the money. Keep in mind, we're not the only ones with the money, but in the beginning, we will be. The financial service centers will be taken over or paid for by managing directors. They will have the funds that will be available to borrow. The financial service center, the clerk there, or the person doing the business, can get into your account because you're there. Well, how does the account know that you're there? Well, guess who's in charge? We don't understand how close we're getting to the heavens in this new coming age. The golden age of mankind is being prepared with these kinds of things because the spirit is there. The quantum financial system is alive. It's not artificial intelligence, it is pure intelligence. By the way, the quantum financial system has been running in different galaxies for years and years and years, and I don't have a way to even understand how long it's been about. But it's given for those who have the ability to make a change in their life so that the golden age of mankind here on this earth, at least, will happen. And we will have interactions with others in our galaxy. Commerce through the use of anti gravity machines to deliver goods and things that we want to send to some planet somewhere or some star nation. It'll all be on computers. Whose computer is it going to be on? It's going to be on God's computer, the one that really works for everybody and can't be hacked. This is what's coming. So, when you talk about the difference between the financial service centers, they will be different from the back office of the beneficiary. So the CAC will be doing what it's going to do with its directors in charge, and the beneficiaries can go ahead and access, push the PHP button, and then all the information they need to create the documents that are necessary to sell your house and all of the documents that you need to know about to buy a house. And the service centers will grant loans and other things. And it'll be just like a normal banking center. There's some adjustments that'll be need to take place with the PHP, private home funding. They say PHP, but it's PHF, unless I'm saying they're saying something different than I'm saying. At any rate, it will work because we planned it in the heavens, and here we are doing it. So let's go on to our last question.
Thank you, Ron, for that. And we'll be right back with the next question.